Fuck. It's a bad... We're on a bad day today, guys. Gym. I did not this morning. I don't have time. I left my bag here. I walked back, and I'm fucked. So now we're doing a short stream today.
Shut the fuck up, moving. All right.
It's a stupid fucking meme. Here looks weird. Yeah, because it's getting longer.
Game of Thrones
okay.
Memes. So
I can't do anything about it.
Legally.
Here, put it under my headphone. There you go. School shooting happened right now. Oh. My, somebody just messaged me about this to talk about it. Well, I guess that's kind of dark, I shouldn't say, but. Hey, if this is Destiny or someone on his team, there was a school shooting in my town today, and if Destiny wants someone from the community to speak to what the community is like, I'd like to be involved. My school is Oxford High School in Michigan, and I've lived in Oxford 90% of my life. I'd like to be able to inform and maybe go back and forth with him on the situation, the information. Obviously, still very early, and there's not much information yet. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I just... Seen the Bad Bunny loaner box stuff? I don't know, have I? You can link me if you want. I hate working out at night. I feel like I have less... I feel like it just ruins my mojo. I feel weak. It's not good, guys. I think you have more testosterone in the morning. It's gonna be, I'm gonna be grumpy today, okay? And then if I go tonight, it means I can't go tomorrow morning, because I probably need more than just like 9 hours to recover. So it's gonna be tomorrow night too, so everything is just fucked. You ever gonna do a gym stream? The problem is there's a really shitty signal at the 24-hour fitness. Otherwise, me and Melina probably would, because since we gym so much anyway, it's just like free content, right? Just skip the day and do tomorrow morning? Fuck you, you actual degenerate fuck. Well, the chat will decide your fate, okay? But my chat hates gym, so you're probably safe. Don't call what Kyle Rittenhouse did. White supremacy or it'll hurt
because
people.
I'm putting
it's one hell of a take. What is happening? White leftist.
Blue is indeed the best color.
At Bad Bunny Twitch, as a POC who has directly received racial abuse on account of my Middle Eastern heritage, you are actively harming me by calling me white. Wow. I like people trying to claim... I like people trying to claim Middle Easterners. It's kind of funny. Because you have like... for Christianity... When Jesus is portrayed, he's like the shining whitest person in the world. Well, then some people argue, you think Jesus is white? Brother was from fucking, I don't ever remember what city it was from. Jerusalem? No, where was Jesus born at? Bethlehem, okay? And they're like, this is what Jesus actually looks like. It's like Samuel Jackson. It's like, you sure? Probably somewhere in the middle. Middle Easterners are like, I don't know if you'd consider them white or not. The whole dichotomy of like white, brown, black, yellow, orange, whatever colors we give people, kind of, it doesn't, it's not the neatest way to organize people. It's a little bit arbitrary. It's Nazareth. Wait, I thought he was born in Bethlehem. Wait, am I wrong? Why does Bethlehem stand out to me? I don't fucking remember. Nobody talked about the birth shit. He grew up in Nazareth. Jesus of Nazareth. True. Why do I remember Bethlehem? He escaped to Bethlehem. Oh, maybe. Just Google Jesus. He looks like a light brown guy. First of all, okay, they didn't have great pictures back when Jesus was alive, number one. Number two, I'm just saying it's kind of weird in, like, who do we consider white or not white, right? So, like, somebody like Hassan. Would you say that Hassan is white? I mean, like, yeah, but also kind of looks Middle Eastern. So, like, are Middle Eastern people white? It's hard, you know? I'm just saying that the dichotomy kind of breaks down. It's hard to say, like, oh, this is white, non-white to me. Destiny fan calls out Ben Shapiro in public debate.
If you are
why is Synth called Destiny fan? Okay, how are you going to do me like that? I'm just kidding. Synth is okay. My mom has a painting of him in her living room, and he's blonde with blue eyes. Damn. Kyle and Vosh.
Let me click on that. There we go.
I listen to some of this, and it's just like it's like the blind leading the blind. I don't know. Listening to these guys talk about foreign policy. We've got Vosh, who's giving like surface level understandings of my points, against Kalinsky, who is just utterly clueless about almost everything. It's just like I listen to some of this talking about Assad and Syria. It's like, you know what? I don't know if I can actually just listen through all of this. It's kind of painful. I don't care. I need a break, okay? We did a lot of reading yesterday, okay? Thoughts on these picks in San Francisco? Yeah, so...
Do you think Jesus would have been a Twitter lefty? And do you think you could have taken him in a debate?
No, and absolutely. I did not go to the gym yet today. I'm going tonight, so we're only streaming until 6. Okay. I wish I had articles prepared on this, but you know what? Now I have Zotero. So in the future I will, okay? How can I search? Is this easy to search for? There's a program called Search Everything. And that program, the way that it indexes stuff or whatever, is like, I don't know if it like literally loads an entire index and keeps it in your RAM always or something. But it is, it's really good. Sorry, that's just, don't just ignore what I was saying. Okay, sorry, what was I saying? I wish I had articles. I don't have articles. I have Zotero, so I'll save stuff now in the future. Okay, so I will have articles in the future. So, this is a little bit more complicated, I think, than people make it out to be, okay? So, a while ago, it was either Walgreens or San Francisco, or I'm sorry, CVS. I think it was Walgreens closes stores, and they said that the reason why they were closing stores was because there's way too much shoplifting, and it's not profitable for them to do it. And this caused an uproar. Apparently a Target closed as well. I don't know, I just saw this from a week ago, or somebody just linked the story. But, I'm reading through this to see if this contradicts anything I'm about to say. Hold on. Some other businesses, not just Target. The spike seen in the data generates more questions. A single store's decision to report a majority of its shoplifting incidents doubled the entire city's. Oh, fuck! This is a really good story, because it might actually super bolster what I'm about to say. Okay, cool. Or maybe we'll read through the rest of this. But here's like the 3-part harmony that I've heard on this so far. So number 1, okay? Walgreens comes out, closes a bunch of stores, okay? And they say, hey, sorry, way too much fucking shoplifting. Nobody's doing shit about it. We're leaving. We're packing up and leaving, okay? Fuck you. Now, I don't want to say Twitter lefties, because a lot of people have come out and have said, hold on, okay? 2 big things, okay? 1, you guys close stores naturally all the time anyway. And 2, when we actually dig into the data and we look at reported shopliftings, shoplifting reports have actually decreased. So that's just not true. You are doing a normal business measure, but you're claiming that you're closing stores just because of the just because of shoplifting. I don't know if you want cops to be more strict on shoplifting or what, so fuck you, right? Now, That's like the prevailing narrative online. I wish I had the copy of the story. But there was either a spokesperson from CVS or it was a local report from CVS. The counter that they gave was, that is absolutely true. Reported shoplifts have fallen quite a bit. But the reason why was because we stopped calling the cops, because there's no point in doing it. So of course the reported numbers are going to fall. Now somebody just linked me this and said, and I just skimmed this. Apparently they put in a new... So apparently they said they put in a new reporting system that was accessible to other business individuals on weekdays, not just Target. He did not respond to questions about how long the system had been in place or whether the department had seen an increase in shoplifting incidents from other stores since the system's implementation. Though the spike seen in the data generates more questions than answers, one thing is clear. A single store's decision to report a majority of its shoplifting incidents doubled the entire city's monthly shoplifting rates. Now, I hadn't seen this until somebody just linked this in chat, but if this is true, then that means, oh, well, there actually is a fuck ton more shoplifting going on, and it doesn't show up in the data because they weren't reporting it before because they just stopped calling the cops. Now, give me like a few minutes. Let me just read this article because I don't know. Maybe there's something in here that contradicts that. Maybe that's not actually the case. As San Francisco remains locked in a fierce debate over how to best respond to crime, shoplifting has become one flashpoint of the battle, dividing people sharply across political lines. Crime experts say the data required to accurately measure shoplifting is woefully inadequate. Okay. There's no better example of the problem than the shoplifting data kept by the San Francisco Police Department. Starting in January 2018, reported shoplifting evidence are relatively consistent, about 250 per month. They dip sharply when the pandemic begins and then begin to slowly increase as the city reopens. And then in September 2021, they inexplicably double. Okay, so I hadn't seen these September 2021 numbers. Close look at the data shows that the spike in reported shoplifting came almost entirely from one store, the Target at 789 Mission Street, the Metreon Mall. In September alone, 154 shoplifting reports were filed from the South of Market intersection where the Target stands, up from 13 in August. And then in October, the reports from this intersection went down again to 17. What happened at this particular Target? Did the store see a huge spike in shoplifting in September? No, said store manager Stacey Abbott. The store was simply using a new reporting system implemented by the police that allows retailers to report crime incidents over the phone. This also makes it sound like if the police are working with stores to implement a new reporting system, it seems like there was probably some underreporting going on before. Destiny, this is a random thought, but wouldn't a good measure of shoplifting rates be to just report from the stock counts rather than calling the cops and filing a report? I don't know if those are published or public or if that would account for everything or there's other forms of loss or whatever, but yeah, I don't know. Dustin, I used to work at a store in a bad neighborhood, and we only called the cops once in 5 years. I was there, and it was absolutely every day. Yeah, jeez. Don't police not chase up after shoplifters anyway? Probably not. I was gonna say that, Appalez, that it doesn't account for damaged inventory or other things, but they probably have line items where they do account for, like, you know, we lost 1,000 in stock, 400 due to damage, 200 due to refunds, 600 due to whatever. That was more than 1,000, but and that's why the shoplifting reports are decreasing in October. I don't have it on me.
What?
Did I set it on the counter over there?
Did you? Oh, yeah.
So Robert Reka, a witness of the renewal reporting system for other business individuals on weekdays, not just Target. He did not respond to a question about how long the system had been in place. So the spiking data seems clear. Not going to clear facts. People expressing alarm about shoplifting, including leaders at major retail associations such as the California Retail Association, said the crime has grown greatly during the pandemic, driving a wave of store closures citywide. They point to stores cutting their hours and company spokespeople saying that shoplifting the needs for security has increased, and they reference incidents like last week's mass thefts at Louis Vuitton and other high-end luxury. I haven't heard of this. Wait, what is it? What am I reading? What? Who linked this? What is this 12-foot IO proxy? Why? I see it's the San Francisco Chronicle, but why was I linked it this way? You haven't heard of the flash mob robbery? Bro, I was in Seattle. Okay, fucking your mom. To avoid the subscription, probably. Oh. Supervisor Dean Preston and Mayor London Breed are among those questioning the narratives of the larger retailers. They point out that the major companies announcing store closures, such as Walgreens, announced it would soon be closing hundreds of stores in 2019 before the pandemic. Such stores have been battered by the e-commerce wave. They know that the pandemic may have led to less foot traffic in these stores and less reduced profits, and they reference the police data. So this is what the current counter narrative is. So this is, yes. So the counter narrative is like, okay, you were going to close the stores anyway. You're getting fucked by online retail, and look at the reported crimes. They're down. You're lying. They reference the police data, which shows that reports of shoplifting and larceny theft have decreased during the pandemic. California law defines shoplifting as entering an open business with the intent to steal merchandise worth no more than $950. But yeah, it seems like that data is not good, because if you don't call and report a crime, there is no, yeah. That's not a great source of shoplifting data, Hayes told the Chronicle. Police data, he said, is particularly flawed because most retailers are reluctant to call law enforcement or detain shoplifters. I don't believe you can do this, for a number of reasons, among them that they don't believe offenders will be charged, and they're worried about their own safety and the legal liability if they intervene. That too. Say what you want about businesses, and whether they really care about their employees or not, maybe they don't, but you don't want your employees fucking wrestling people, every week to try to keep them from stealing shit. You're going to be, I just thinking about that as somebody that used to be a supervisor, I cannot imagine the headache fucking nightmare. All the liability, the medical, the FMLA, all the bullshit that would be incurred. My asshole clenches just thinking about, like, yeah, I run a store. Yeah, I tell my employees every single fucking week to go out and fucking, wrestle shoplift. Fuck no. Oh my God, it would be horrible. Holy shit. I can confidently say, without ever having looked into any retail whatsoever, I can say this, and I'll say this as a fact: no possible fucking way would any store manager want their employees running out to do fucking hand-to-hand combat with potential shoplifters. Like, no fucking way. Yeah, that you'd never do it. You'd be like, all right, take it, leave, fuck it, no possible way. Stores keep their own data on inventory and losses, and Hayes said that this is a better source than police data, but store data isn't perfect because expected inventory can get lost for several reasons. An employee might steal something, or a shipment might never make it to the store. Moreover, Hayes said individual retailers tend to be reluctant to share their data publicly. This was my concern, right? I don't know how many stores will publicly release their data sets of stock and inventory and everything. Walgreens, CVS, and Target responded to repeated requests for shopping data from the Chronicle, other than the most aggregate statistics. Okay. Quick finance 101, okay? I hate it when people do this. Okay? I hate it when people do this, okay? Not to say that they're being intentionally biased, but Mike DeAngelis, a spokesperson for CVS, said the store had experienced a 300% increase in retail theft from our stores since the pandemic began, but did not provide specific information on San Francisco stores. He also said that CVS loses $200 million a year because of organized retail crime, or less than 0.1% of CVS's annual revenue, okay? Who cares about your revenue when we're talking about loss? I personally think that it's a little bit more important to look at profit here, not revenue. Again, let's say that I sell a car for $50,000 and then somebody steals $5,000 from me. Well, my revenue was 50 grand and somebody stole 5 grand. Okay, it sucks, but they only stole 10% of my revenue. Well, let's say that I bought that car for $47,500, and I sold it for $50,000, and then somebody stole $5,000 from me, right? Well, in one sense, I lost 10% of my revenue, sure, but in another sense, somebody stole 200% of my profits, right? Revenue versus profit. When we're talking about loss, I can see arguments for using both figures, but revenue absolutely does not capture everything entirely, right? Depending on your profit margins, stealing what could be a small percentage of your overall revenue might be a really big percentage of the profits lost. Just something to keep in mind, I'm sure losses can be written off in taxes. Sure. But just because you write something off doesn't mean you get all the money back. It's just not taxable, right? Don't they just lose the cost of the products plus the expected volume they would sell of the product? Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is, let's say hypothetically, let's say that I buy $100,000 worth of goods, and let's say that I intend to sell these goods for we'll say $110,000, okay? We've etched out a nice 10% profit, okay? Let's say that somebody comes in and they steal, we'll say, $20,000 worth of goods, okay? If that is the case, right, now we can say that, okay, well, let's look at their, let's look at their total revenue, okay? The total revenue of $110,000, somebody sold $20,000. It's less than 20% of their revenue. It sucks, but if we look at like the profit, right? Well, this is how much money we would have made. Our business goes from being in the black to in the red. We're negative. We're down $10,000 now. Fuck. We're down $10,000 now for the year instead of being up 10,000 because we lost 20,000. Even though this is only a percentage of our revenue, like I'm just saying that when you're talking about like gains or losses, I'm just saying that talking in revenue is deceptive, okay? People will argue that some industries make billions of dollars in revenue. You know, airlines. The airlines make billions of dollars in revenue. Who the fuck cares? Do they profit? That's the important part. You can make a lot of revenue and not profit. Or you can make not that much revenue and huge profits. Both of these numbers need to be taken into account when we're thinking of finance. It's really, really, really important, okay? Okay. To be fair, I don't think their profit is that razor thin. Profit is, yes, profit is pretty thin. I think generally profit is around, isn't it like 10 to 20%? And then it's risk adjusted, of course. The riskier the industry, the greater the expected return. But like, yeah, profit is like, I want to say like, maybe even less, maybe like 10 to 15% is probably like your overall profit in like a capitalist economy. 5 to 15% maybe. Profit's not going to be 100%. It's not going to be 50%, right? Okay. Also, people were posting that this is another thing that I say, okay? This is so important, okay? When I had that conversation about defending CRT and that sociologist emailed me and was like, hey, listen, individual stories are arguably just as important as large data, because when we go through large data, essentially what we're doing is we're accounting for the individual on a macro scale. I should be able to go dig into individual stories and find stuff that lines up with the larger data, right? This is our defense of the idea behind CRT selling narratives, right? That like, oh, we do look at the individual. The individual can be a fine unit of analysis. You just have to be aware of the limitations of that analysis, okay? To bring that back to this, okay, you can't run around saying, oh, there's no problems. Oh, nothing's happening. Oh, blah, 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 blah. If the individual people are looking around and they're like, what? So this thread, now, could this be deceptive? I tried to look through this woman's account to see if she was like some fucking weird conservative or whatever. I looked a little bit. It didn't look like it. Maybe she is. If you guys are in San Francisco, I don't know. You guys can tell me this. I hadn't seen these pictures before, but apparently this is downtown San Francisco. It's like supposedly like every fucking store is like fucking boarded up. Holy shit. Anytime you see like this shit like boarded up, that means either it was like broken into or they're worried about it being broken into. Like, yep, that's what Union Square, San Francisco looks like right now. Wait, Apples, do you not live here anymore? Do you live up in SF? Yeah, but holy shit. And it's like block after block after block of like this stuff. No, family and friends still live there. This is like depressing. Not good, guys. Like you can't be looking at shit like this and knowing that there are people walking up and down the street and then hop onto Twitter and be like, well, actually, CPS is just selling a capitalist narrative to try to fool you guys into believe blah, 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 right? You can't do that, okay? What you say has to translate to what happens in people's lives, right? Same thing, no offense, okay? But same thing with a lot of the rioting that happened towards the end of the BLM stuff or in Kenosha, right? You can't be like, oh, well, it wasn't that bad. Like, tell it to the people that walk by businesses that are still boarded up. There are still places in Minneapolis that are boarded up. There are still places in Seattle that are boarded up. There are still places in Kenosha that are boarded up. There are businesses that are never going to open again. There are places that are closed, that are still closed and damaged. Like, you have to account for these people's lived experiences. You can't just say that, it's not happening. Who was linking thief stuff? I didn't hear about this because I was in Seattle. Fuck. I think I missed a couple tweets somebody was linking in chat. People are saying Walgreens reported a 1.92% net profit margin for quarter 2 of 2021. Jesus. About 25 cars just blocked the street and rushed into the Walnut Creek Nordstrom, making off with goods for getting in cars and speeding away. $25 cars. Oh, so this is like actually some like 3 Fast, 3 Furious like organized theft shit. What? Shouldn't you like take your license plates off your car if you're gonna do shit like this? Maybe some of them do. Oh, this is the Louis Vuitton store. I got you.
Hey, everybody, if you're not a
Best Buy just mentioned organized retail theft and general shrink as a big factor in the latest earnings report. Sure. Anyway. A lot of buggers, if you're interested in hearing about my Section 9 challenge of law in Ontario. I poked you in your Discord about it. If you're not interested, I don't know anything about this, okay? But I love you, buddy. Wreckful shopping. Why are we... Okay. Why don't they just hire security? I don't know if security has the authorization to wrestle people and shit either. I don't know how that works. Remember when Hassan said they redistributed stolen Jordans to people in the neighborhood? Yeah, God, what a fucking loser, dude. Oh my God. Does anybody have that clip? No shot he said that. I need the clip. Show me the clip.
Do shit, okay? There's good stuff happening on the protest side always. Like, you only see the looting of Target. You don't see the redistribution of the goods that they took from Target back to the community. Like, because a lot of these neighborhoods are now turning into fucking food deserts where you have to drive.
Dude, I can't believe I get banned for shit I say here. And you can just say, like, the most, like, ridiculously stupid fucking shit. Like, it's unreal, dude.
30 minutes to an hour to go get food.
That's not true.
Live in those neighborhoods.
No.
It's
where have you been in the United States where it's a 30-minute drive to go get food? I want to know. Please tell me. Where do you live in the United... Unless you're literally like in... It's not in any fucking city, right? Maybe in the most possible rural community. Sure. That's not what he's talking about, right? Like, come on. Get the fuck out of here, dude. California's robbery epidemic became deadly today. A security guard protecting a local news crew covering another flash mob robbery was shot on Wednesday after a group of armed robbers tried to steal camera equipment. You're trying to do the news and now they want to steal your cameras. What the fuck? Seth Rogen says it's just part of living in a big city. Normal stuff. What can be done about this? Step one of every single... What? Everybody repeat after me. No, don't repeat after me. Tell me. What is step one of fixing any problem? Go, chat. Go. Good job. Bryce, identifying. Admitting there's a problem. Recognize there's a problem. Identify the problem. That is right. First, we have to understand that there is a problem. When you're divided and even recognizing that a problem exists, you're not going to be able to fix the problem. Son probably thinks Uber Eats takes 30 minutes, so he's living in a food desert. True. I just educated myself and one day, poof, higher income. What?
If you want to be a millionaire in your 30s, you better do these things in your 20s. Instead of living alone, have your buddies move in. Instead of going to the bar, invite your friends over. Forget the mall. It's all about Naughty Rat, Converse, and Costco. While you're at Costco, skip the restaurants. Since your buddies live with you, skip the barbershop. But being a cheap ass alone is not going to cut it. You got to take that money you saved and educate yourself so you can earn a higher income at an earlier age. And you're still not done yet. You got to take that higher income and you got to invest it. Now you could stick it in the stock market until you have enough to invest in some rental property. And I promise you, just like in Monopoly, if you get enough little houses like this, it's only a matter of time before you buy a multifamily like this and roll it into a cash cow like these. And once you own a couple of these, it's smooth sailing for the rest of your life. But you got to remember that it starts with sacrifice.
Okay, this actually is good advice to be a millionaire by like 45, okay? Not by 30, all right? You could do this, follow his advice. I bet by 45, definitely 50, you could be a millionaire. Not by 30 though, okay? Let's slow your roll there, buddy, all right? Taking your $35,000 a year income and putting away $5,000, a year is not going to turn you into a fucking millionaire in 10 years. The math don't check out there, all right? What is this? Looters stealing from looters. Bro, that's the next thing. It's like the third order theft. Remember my idea to have Navy SEALs, divers, looting places in hurricanes? We could just make mercenary crews that steal from thieves.
Number of locations, the Target store on Main Street and the Broadway Plaza Shopping Center. And we have seen, as you can see there, some random acts of violence against retailers. Not large groups of people on the 30 minutes, police responding to a number of locations. The Target store on
That dude, yeah, we were watching that was the Hassan redistribution. That wasn't happening in real time, guys. We saw it. True. Someone in the sub is critiquing you about your comments on Japan and inflation. Oh, somebody emailed me about, I don't know what this is going to say. Somebody emailed about, when I saw negative inflation, that was referring to the growth of inflation. You can have a negative inflation from one year to the next, and it's not actually deflation. I was incorrect in calling it, look, Japan's economy was deflationary. It wasn't. It experienced negative inflation growth. So the inflation decreased. It didn't become deflationary, which is true. There is debate. Japan is talking yes, countries simulate wars on taking only about Japan is an example of cherry picking and ignores the years-long problem Japan has had with its growth. Japan has seen really low inflation for a long time. That's why it's sort of a bad thing. The dumb part about the guy saying this inflation is it almost certainly has some effect on inflation. It's that we're better off having stimulated the economy and seeing inflation than stimulated at all. Since the case when you consume, you have to underconsume later, unless Destiny's Secret MFT person disagrees with that. Focusing the idea because it's true either. It's not as simple as being a problem. I feel like feel like the Krugman article I read yesterday. I'll go with that interpretation. Okay, that's not negative inflation. That's just lower inflation. If you said such meant negative inflation growth, yeah, that's what I because it was expressing like so for the U.S. it was like 6.3% growth inflation. Then for Japan it listed like negative 2% or something. It's like, oh, well, their economy like deflated, but it wasn't. I think it was a reduction in the growth of inflation, like because it was measuring the change or something. Not yeah, it wasn't whatever it was. It wasn't deflation. When you're, it's like doing derivatives. If the rate of change is decreasing, as long as the rate, like if the rate of change, if the derivative goes from 2 to 1, it's still increasing. You wouldn't say that it's become decreasing, but it's just the increase has decreased. Does that make sense? I don't remember. Okay. Hold on. I had donuts enough. Boom.
/raid. That's tiny.
Destiny. Did you really grab her chestiny? Feels weird, man.
Destiny, did you really grab her chestiny? I remember that song. Pregnant Florida woman
You
shot.
never lose.
Yeah, that woman
Love
was
you, buddy.
crazy. It's sad, but
Shut the fuck up, movement, alright? It's a
stupid fucking meme. Hassan stealing clip. Why? There's more?
Good day, Steven.
Thoughts on stealing of the shampoo from Walgreens? Yeah, I saw this. This is so fucking stupid, dude. Like, just let people steal shit, dude. What the fuck is wrong with you? They're not hurting anybody. Like, that's unironically my take. Like, what is this? This is like actually dry snitching, dude. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Like, are they stealing from you? No, they're stealing from Walgreens. Like, what are you, Mr. Wall or Mr. Green? Like, why are you fucking doing that?
It's funny, but stupid.
Thoughts on...
You're a genius, dude!
So when we steal shit from Hassan's house...
Single thing Lauren Southern has done in her entire career that was ever racist or race realist toward black, Asian, Jewish, or Hispanic people. Can you show any evidence that she was ever a white nationalist? Super curious as you say.
Can you show any evidence that Lauren was at one point a white nationalist? Yeah, I would say so. Back in the day, the biggest way, in my opinion, that people would like signal that is this. They would use this phrase, Western values. And anytime I heard that phrase and I dug more into what people were saying, usually kind of stuff you're trying to say white people. I think at one point in time, I would say that Lauren was definitely involved in that kind of rhetoric. Back in her like 2016, 2017, like Identity Europa shit days. Yeah, for sure.
Do you ever feel like an NPC in like someone else's life?
Stop crying, loser, Giga Chad.
Giga Chad.
Can't these stores just write it off on the insurance?
Fucking dubstep.
TF.
True. Based, bro.
I feel like I've outpaced him intellectually.
Why do I keep getting outpaced?
You're a genius, dude!
It's pissed me off.
Miano hype.
Thank you, Steven!
Do you think she's stupid for not having directly apologized for those old
Tell me.
takes? Hold on. Why do I not just put it in here first? Was there a reason? Fuck it. I can understand her not wanting to.
First, we must ignore the problem.
Because, for a variety of reasons. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say anything because I don't know what she has apologized for or hasn't apologized for, so I'm not sure.
Imagine being a scalper and willingly taking on all of the retailer's risk by buying their entire stock.
True. Scalpers are the true heroes here. Based.
Hassan is so hot. Holy shit. I would let him redistribute my ass any day.
Nice. The two biggest concerns I can see with Lauren, one is an ego thing, and the other is like a I don't know how to phrase this. So like, I could see somebody not wanting to apologize because they just don't want to admit they were wrong about anything, which is, a lot of people do that. And the second thing I could see is not wanting to apologize because you think that people are accusing you of too much, and if you apologize, you're like admitting that they were right. I don't know if either of those apply to her case, but I could see either of those being the case. In which case she's like, oh fuck you. I think I've been in scenarios where I think I do something and I think it's kind of wrong or I'm too much of an asshole or something, but people are accusing me of way too much. And I'm like, I'm not apologizing to you for that shit. I'm not like a... Like, for the Kenosha stuff, I might say, like, yeah, you know, I think I worded that, like, a little bit extremely, but I'm not going to apologize for saying I wanted, you know, like, protesters killed. I never said that. I never even, like, absolutely not, right? I would never apologize for that. Fuck you. Now, I don't know if it's the same case for her or not, but then again, I don't give a fuck about apologies. This is not the kind of person I am. Don't care. Don't give a fuck, ever. Have you been following the Ghislaine Maxwell trial? I have not at all. Didn't you say protesters in the Kenosha clip, though? I think it's like, I can see how much people are either so bad faith or like so just stupid. Like, I understand, though, you meant rioters. I said protesters that burn down buildings. I'm talking about rioters. It's like, it's very, very, very obvious what I'm talking about. I don't know if I would have said rioters, though, honestly, if you guys would have interpreted it any differently, or if it still would have been the same, like, oh, you say rioters, but you really mean all protesters. I don't know, but
to be clear,
I don't
Lawrence
care about
Southern
it anymore.
has never said anything racist toward Black, Jewish, Asian, or Hispanic people, and all she said was Western values, therefore she is a white nationalist. Also, I don't think the guilt by association with some other group works.
Guilt by association doesn't work, but it can be a good heuristic, and after a while, it's going to make any reasonable person scratch their head. I think it just depends. But...
These stores could just take charitable donations to decrease their taxable income and offset the losses, plus they're insured.
Wait, what is this? Anybody bring up insurance is a dumb fuck. I don't know what to say, sorry. Wait. These stores could just take charitable donations to decrease their taxable... Oh, never mind. Good. That was a good dono. You got it. Okay. What is this? Aromanticism. One of the attributes of aromantic people is that despite feeling a romantic attraction, they still may enjoy sex. Why are there... Stop making flags for everything. Please stop. It's so cringe. You don't have to have a flag for every fucking thing in the world. Why are people making so many flags? This one has been around for like years. I don't care how long it's been around for. It's fucking stupid. Can you react to George Carlin and his take on looting? I'll probably disagree with it because I'm pretty sure at the end of his life, George Carlin was like ultra, like anti-capitalist. Probably at the very least, he was hardcore anti-corporatist. So my guess is going to be, can I guess what would George Carlin say here? It's going to be something along the lines of like, these businesses that have been looting American paychecks or robbing from American neighborhoods for years and years and years are finally having their comeuppance when a citizen wants to run in and steal, you know, a bottle of toothpaste. Like, you know, fuck them. My guess is going to be something like this. That's my guess. But maybe it's actually completely the other way. We'll see.
Sentence a little while ago, it's not a surprise. It shouldn't be a surprise. It shouldn't be a surprise that rich white men don't care about poor black people, period. So they're not high on their list. They're not high on their list.
George,
they're
I love
not
you,
high,
George,
they're not,
but that's
I don't
nonsense.
care if you love me or not.
That's
They're
nonsense.
not high on the conscious or the subconscious list of those people who are in charge of things in this country. The owners, forget these foolish elections, the owners of this country don't care about the poor in general.
The owners of
and they
this
don't care
country?
about
What are we going... What, is this Karl Marx talking to me? The owners of this country are the voters of this country.
You're wrong about that, my friend.
Aren't the owners of this country the voters in this country who elected George Bush?
No, they're not. Listen, politics, these elections are a charade. It is a charade. Oh, okay. It is, they are meant to...
Dude, I got super high on this shit when I was younger.
Elections and politicians are in place in order to give Americans the illusion that they have freedom of choice. You don't really have choice in this country.
Well, and let me ask you this about the looting. Would you agree that there was two kinds of looting? That there was the kind where people were desperate because they were starving and maybe were taking food out of a store, and then there are some people who were taking stereo equipment.
Yeah.
Would you agree that there was two kinds of
Yeah,
looting?
people were walking away with television sets.
Would you
And
agree
they
that
didn't
there was
notice
those
that.
two kinds of looting?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then is it not wrong for the president to issue an ultimatum that there was zero tolerance and thereby encourage his right-wing flacks in the liberal media to go ahead and say this gives us license to suggest that we shoot people on sight, as if in the middle of this crisis where so many people are dying already, what we need to do is shoot Tyrone because he's getting out of Circuit City with some soggy tweeters. And I think Tyrone always had soggy tweeters, quite frankly.
Well, from the poor to the rich. I'm sorry.
How am
that
I
you
so
don't
good? I love George Carlin. I still love George Carlin. He's a funny guy. I don't take his politics very seriously, but
like class and the truth, my friend, but you're just stuck with it. Class is bad, and the poor have been systematically looted in this country. The rich have been made richer under this criminal, fascist president and his government.
You know, George, I think do you know what fascism is? You know what fascism is?
To America,
you know what Nazis are?
No, wait, sir, wait, sir. When fascism comes to America, it will
are?
not be in brown and black shirts. It will not be with jack boots. It will be Nike sneakers and smiley shirts. Smiley. The fascism. Germany lost the Second World War. Fascism won it. Believe
And actually,
me, my friend.
fascism is when corporations become the government.
Yes.
And that's sort of what we have. And poverty has gone up.
so not true, but
So
17.
Get this straight. George, you think that looting is looting okay if there's no hurricane?
First of all, property.
Can you break into tweeters
but
whenever you want?
We're talking
I
about
have no problem with theft. May I be honest
No
with
problem
you?
with
I have no
theft.
problem with theft. It's true.
But wait a sec. We're talking looting. We're not saying, you know, this reminds me of the O.J. situation. It wasn't that O.J. was innocent. We all knew he killed his wife. Okay? It's not that looting is good. We all know looting is bad. It's the priorities. It's the fact that white people obsessed on one black guy getting away with a crime once when it had worked in reverse 1 billion times more.
oh damn, this is what I think we were talking about this yesterday, right?
The same way they're obsessing about a few people getting away in the middle of this much bigger crisis. It's a matter of what's proportional. I think that's what we're saying about looting. No one is defending looting. Well, when you say, I don't care what that is always what these kind of commentators say. I don't care what their race is, as if things were even to begin with. Bill O'Reilly and his ilk are saying things like, you know what? If you just would have gotten an education, you wouldn't be in this situation. As if it's easy to get an education in situations where there's so much segregation.
Bill, I completely agree with you on that.
Okay. You know what? I don't know if this is a hot take or not. I like Bill Maher. I hate his opinions. I probably disagree with him on a fuck ton of shit. But hey, he speaks his mind. You know what? Props to him for that. I don't know. We're tapping into the boomers now. Do you guys know why Bill Maher got fucked so hard? Way back in the day, like fucking 20 years ago? He, I want to say it was like, god damn. Was it like 3 days after 9/11? Am I exaggerating this? And he said some shit like America deserved 9/11. He said some crazy shit. And this was on like, he was on like a mainstream media. He wasn't on like fucking HBO. Okay. He was on like on ABC or some shit. He was on like some mainstream media. And he said that shit like 3 days after. He was like, they were like brave pilots. America deserved 9/11. It was like, damn. And he got fucking, some crazy. It might not have been exactly like that. He said they weren't cowards, not that he was serious. Okay, it might have been that. He might have said that the pilots were braver. Actually, we could probably just find it instead of me trying to paraphrase it. But damn, did people get fucking mad at this guy? Fuck, I'm not gonna be able to find it. Also, I think, I'm trying to remember. Does Bill Maher, I sometimes call him Bill Mayer, like John Mayer. Bill Maher, does Bill Maher say the N-word or does he say N-word? I think he actually says the N-word. And you know what? What a guy, man. That's the destiny seal of approval right there, you know, that and being a fascist and Hitler, I guess. 9/11 comment that got
On
Bill Maher
politically
fired.
incorrect.
Oh, it was right here. Okay.
Show that once followed this one. He made this infamous comment less than a week after 9/11.
Less than a week. If you weren't there, you don't know, okay? A lot of you people are younger now. If you're like fucking in your early 20s or something, you don't know, okay? What the Americans thought, okay? It was a crazy shit. This was a crazy time in America, okay? People were losing their minds, all right? And he said this shit. He just said this shit.
We have been the cowards, lobbing cruise missiles from 2,000 miles away. That's cowardly.
That is a
Staying in the
terribly-
airplane
yes.
when it hits the building.
That is
Say
a
what you want
terribly-
about it, not cowardly.
Jesus Christ. He got absolutely roasted over that. Oh my God. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a funny comment. Well, at the time, I probably hated him for it as well, but because I was a little young conservative whippersnapper, but damn. He wasn't fucking around, guys. Would you be allowed to watch this on stream? If it's George Carlin saying the N-word, I probably don't want to risk it. Hold on, let me catch up on donuts.
A looter estimated that the cost C in dollars of looting X items is C equals 7X plus $350. Unfortunately, the looter gets caught and needs to pay $700 in bail. How many items in X does the looter need to loot to turn a profit?
Fucking statistician.
Yo, Dest. I'm gonna keep it 320,745,000,000 Venezuelan bolivars, also known as $1.50. Why don't those businesses just ask for infinite CIA money? What a bunch of idiots.
True. Oh my God, this is just disgusting. I'm sorry, what I'm doing right now is just disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. This is atrocious, but I'm doing it. I did it. It'll work. Okay. What was I? In a very literal sense, fascism is about corporatism, kind of. Not in the sense that we think of it as now being synonymous with National Socialism. Basically, Mussolini went around Italy and made sure that workers weren't striking community order. Doing this, he gained favors with the owner class, and so people kind of point to that to say that fascism... That's stupid as fuck. Okay. Why do I have this video up? What is this even about? Good luck.
Oh, that's right. I did see this on my Reddit when I woke up this morning. Hold on.
Holding.
Wait, what is this? Bad Bunny cuts out Lumiru because they associate with Vosh and also compares him to a racist and a fascist. Guys, all right, you can clip this and send this to everyone, okay?
Uh-oh.
Bad Bunny is an almost holistically reprehensible person. Her only contribution to discourse is woke virtue signaling, where she says she doesn't like white men, okay? That's it. You can look at her Twitter. That's it.
True.
The only thing she has ever offered to the discourse is pathetic attempts at baiting...
The only change in Bad Bunny's politics over the past 3 years is she went from hating black men to white men.
The affection of people who also don't like white men and like posting hearts underneath other people's tweets. Okay, that's it. She doesn't have any real beliefs. She's not particularly bright. She is a remarkably abusive person to her community. There's just nothing valuable there.
True.
Okay? You know the reason why this happened, by the way.
Why?
You know the reason why? I'll tell you why.
Tell us.
It's because I tweeted her yesterday.
Mm-hmm. What'd you say?
Yes, that's right. There was actually an instigating force
Okay.
here. It wasn't just completely random. You know what my tweet was?
What?
You know what the thing that spurned Bad Bunny to...
Stop teasing us!
Disassociate with Lumiru was?
Tell us!
Get ready for it. It's pretty rough. Bad Bunny, with a very high IQ, says, I don't think I've ever seen a femme/bi-POC political streamer's name trending, whereas I've seen Vosh and Destiny trending more times than I can count. I'm sure they're both very concerned. Do you know the reason why Bad Bunny didn't say Hassan here? And because Hassan trends far more than either of us could combine. It's because Bad Bunny still hopes for the clout.
Excuse me. I actually trend way more than Hassan because I get grouped in with Destiny the game. So, fuck you guys.
Along those lines. That's it. Very weird comment. And then I said, you are contributing to my being trending. And that's it. That's the only thing that I tweeted.
I bet she got super mad.
Which is literally true, yes. That's it. And in response, we get this.
Host Lumi?
This is 7 minutes. What?
Oh my god, imagine if that happened. EA releases a new shooter called Vosh. Holy shit.
Do you see what she's doing right now? This is an optical consideration. Will I benefit?
I mean, Vosh definitely knows. He can see these optical considerations.
More from the drama and attention that I will get by performatively distancing myself from Lumiru than I would otherwise get by continuing to have a good relationship with their community.
I don't want my viewers going to streams that are supporting Bosch and Destiny and the like.
And the like.
Nothing. Lumi and Destiny, I'm pretty sure, don't interact, and Lumi has been on my stream maybe twice. I raid them from time to time. That's it, though.
Yeah, that wasn't a creep husker. That was someone that was trying to be harassing. You just ban them next time.
Ban them.
Or I can just do it.
Ban them all.
And why did she allow DM as a co-host? Yeah, Demon Mama is way more associated with me than Lumi is. Do you know why? Demon Mama has a larger community, a more active community, and thus there's more benefit to associating with Demon Mama.
Clout, baby!
Bad Bunny was on perfectly good terms with me until I mentioned that I thought she was weirdly abusive to her community, and after that she started going the full-on Vosh is a rapist, Vosh is a piece of shit, Vosh is a transphobe shit.
God damn.
Like,
Hardcore.
it's just grifting. If she thinks she can make money off of you or get, like, positive association with you,
yeah,
then
What'd she
she
do?
will tolerate your presence.
Then?
And she'll work to be with you.
Okay.
And otherwise not.
Ooh. Damn, okay. Okay, Vouch. Okay.
She latched on hard to Professor Flowers during their trial. It's just clout. She's probably still, like, racist.
Jesus!
There was a clip from her in 2018 saying she would vomit if she ever met a bisexual black man. She was, like, pretty fucking conservative. Logs on Discord of her saying the N-word, like the F-slur, pages and pages and pages of it. Her saying, hey, how far do you think I could go if I grifted as a lefty for a while?
True!
And since then, she's been doing that. Holy shit, that was her. Yep. Wait, do we have that clip? Hold on.
The Destiny clips, bring them up! Actually, I don't think
That's
I was...
a classic clip right there.
Classic. Vosh knows, because he was probably
It
a
is,
fan
of
back
course,
then.
logged in Destiny's sub. I don't know where else I could find something like that.
It's okay, Vosh. Come home, baby.
I, for one, would never be involved with a guy who's bisexual.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Witch doctor, shut the fuck up! I couldn't do it. There might be exceptions, obviously. When I say I wouldn't be attracted or I'm not attracted, obviously, if it's like, obviously there could be exceptions to all you super little
Oh, yeah, there could be. Of course.
nerds out there, but like,
They'd have to be really
I
cool.
don't like, if a guy's just, like having sex with other guys, and then he's like, oh, maybe I'll try having sex with you. I'm like,
This was 3 years ago, by the way. This was how conservative she was when I found her, okay? This is how good I am. Nobody can de-radicalize like I do, all right? This is how conservative she was before I started talking to her, all right? And then I molded her into the hardcore commie tanky you see today before you.
racist and sexist. Please don't say that. Even black people, if you found me a black bisexual man, I might throw up in my mouth at the thought of sexual contact with him. But
oh my god. Sorry.
Not every black bisexual I throw up in my mouth at the sight of. Just like, you know.
Most of them.
Or Twitch is gonna ban me just for showing this clip. Jesus Christ. Anyway. Seriously, if people stopped associating with Bad Bunny for like 5 months, she would disappear off the face of the earth.
Thank you, Vaush. What is this about?
Hello and welcome to the suburban wasteland.
Hi.
With me, Echo Gecko. In the past, we've discussed how suburbs are universally damaging to those that live in them and the environment around them. In this episode, however, we're going to focus in on how suburbs are especially harmful to one specific but very important group: children and adolescents. Let's get started.
Wait.
Remember, I don't know, a few months ago, there was this girl that was complaining about not getting a $5 donation or something.
People just
She knows what she's doing. Notice how she does that. She's antagonizing the Sims.
$5 really don't respect me as a content creator.
Never talk to Bad Bunny. If you're watching this and you're like, hey, I want to stream, you know, I'm gonna stream. Learn my lesson. Learn my lesson, okay?
And then the Sims come to the rescue.
She's an attractive woman.
Oh,
who
for
didn't act like a
fuck's
nice person.
sake!
Did you say
Which is what
attractive?
makes sexually frustrated incels angry.
You notice the lack of eye contact, the lack of confidence, the slouchy posture. That's all hit. All three.
And all right, so I'm gonna send you over to somebody who I actually like. So let me try to find someone like that. Someone that I actually like.
I'm sorry.
Okay, everybody wants politics. That ain't happening there, Hackstock. That is never happening again. You can find your way over there on your own.
Remember,
Okay, sorry. We're here.
Before we dive in, though, we have to establish a basic fact.
Yeah?
Since the 1970s, researchers all over the developed world have observed a collapse in what is termed child-independent mobility, or the ability of children to go to school, park, or a friend's house, and so on their own. According to a 2008 study, only about a third of American children ever walked or biked to school in the 2000s, a 40% drop since 1977. By 2009, this had declined to only 13%.
Okay.
According to the National Center for Safe Routes to School. This isn't unique to the United States. A 2005 study in Australia found that while nearly 2/3 of children walked to elementary school in 1974, nearly 90% were instead being driven by 2005. Meanwhile, a 2001 study found that in Australia, New Zealand, and the UK, less than half of 10-year-old children were allowed to visit places other than school alone, catch public transport alone, or bike along main roads. Finally, a 2014 study in Great Britain finds that, quote, 80% of 7 to 8-year-old children in the UK were permitted to travel home from school on their own in 1971, compared with just 9% in 1990 and 6% in 2010, unquote. More recent evidence from a 2018 paper finds that just between 1990 and 2010, the proportion of kids allowed to come home from school alone dropped by 30% in England and over 50% in Australia. The authors of that 2014 study conclude that, quote, many children in developed countries now primarily experience their neighborhood through a car window, as parents habitually chauffeur them to and from school and other destinations, unquote. Before we get into the consequences of this, and there are many very negative consequences, it's important to establish that suburbanization is the cause of this decline. As we've discussed in previous videos in this series, suburbs, and especially contemporary American suburbs, have certain characteristics: very low density, looping cul-de-sac street layouts, few trees and sidewalks, and large single-use tracts. All of these features facilitate an autocentric lifestyle at the expense of walking, biking, and other modes of transit. That is to say, all the modes children can use independently. Plenty of research confirms this as the cause in the decline of child-independent mobility. For example, a 2002 study of households with children by the Center for Disease Control found that, quote, long distances and dangerous motor vehicle travel were the most commonly reported barriers to active travel, unquote. A 2008 study, which conducted focus groups with parents and children in suburban North Carolina, found that, quote, lack of sidewalks or discontinuous sidewalks were seen as a barrier because they made walking to school more dangerous, unquote. A common feature of many modern developments that forces residents to walk and bike on the road itself. Curiously, the researchers found that, quote, distance was reported as a problem for several participants, despite the fact that they all lived within 1.5 miles from school, unquote. Even if you live nearby to where you need to go, the built environment is so hostile that parents considered it unacceptable for children to walk. Furthermore, a 2019 Canadian paper finds that, quote, suburban environments were negatively associated with boys' independent mobility, while walkability was positively associated with girls' independent mobility, unquote. A 2007 study summarizes the outstanding evidence. Quote, a large and sprawling urban context, more intense traffic, few play areas near home, and parental anxiety over traffic and social dangers have a negative effect on children's autonomous mobility, unquote. Parental anxieties about child safety in the suburbs are, to a degree, justified. While that North Carolina study did find that stranger danger was a prominent fear among parents,
child being stalked by a predator. She tried to take 2 young children.
Oh! That video is fake. Fuck you, loser.
Caught on video. It happened so fast. You can see the man grab 7-year-old Brittany Baxter.
The authors note that, quote, the actual risks of abduction overall are substantially lower than risks of injury from automobile accidents, drowning, burns, pedestrian injuries, and bicycle injuries, unquote. In contrast, the risk of child death by car is very real. According to the CDC, about 600 kids under the age of 13 were killed in car crashes in 2018, and nearly 100,000 were injured. The number of deaths rises to 4,000 if teenagers are included, or about 20% of all deaths in that age bracket. In both cases, car collisions were the #1 cause of death for children and teenagers. A 2017 Canadian study found that, quote, road traffic injuries are the leading cause of preventable child death in Canada, and are the leading cause of unintentional injury death in those ages 0 to 24, unquote. Importantly, the study also found that, quote, higher residential land use density had a protective effect, unquote, against car collisions with child pedestrians, with a nearly 50% decline in collision risk for children in high-density areas. In response to this danger, parents have begun to universally ferry their children in cars, and as a result, the rate of child pedestrian death has plummeted. But this has come with other costs. First of all, plummeting child-independent mobility likely contributed to skyrocketing child overweight and obesity over the same period. We discussed this in much more detail in a previous video, and so I won't get too into it here, though I will point out a 2003 study in the Philippines which found that simply walking to or from school burned between 6,000 and 8,000 calories a year, quote, thereby avoiding a weight gain of 2 to 3 pounds per year, unquote. An important finding at a time when American childhood obesity continues to skyrocket. The suburban threat to child welfare stretches far beyond physical health, however. A 2013 study by a group of Italian researchers found that among children, quote, lower independent mobility predicted greater feelings of loneliness through the mediation of a weaker sense of community, a lower sense of safety, and less frequent social activities with friends, unquote. A 2007 study had similar findings, concluding that, quote, higher autonomous mobility and higher use of public spaces for play in childhood predicted less intense fear of crime and a stronger sense of community in adolescence, unquote, even when controlling for local crime levels, and, quote, a better relationship with community predicted less pervasive feelings of loneliness, unquote. Suburban life, it turns out, makes children quite lonely. A 1995 study, which over the course of 5 years interviewed focus groups of parents and children in A families, in walkable urban settings, and B families, in car-oriented suburban ones, suggests why this might be. It finds that suburban children, quote, do not have even half as many playmates in the immediate neighborhood as children from A families, unquote. The study also found that suburban life places special strain on the parents of children as well. Not only did A family parents know more people in the neighborhood than B parents, 81 average acquaintances versus 37, but they could more easily use those relationships to secure childcare when needed. Quote, 95% of all A parents have neighbors who take care of their child, whereas in the case of B parents, only 60% do, unquote. Unlike the children in A families, children in B families could not typically go out to play on their own. As a result, quote, altogether, over 80% of the B parents find it necessary to organize opportunities for their child to play with other children.
Fix the media
In comparison,
capture. Wait,
only
what's wrong with it?
40% of the A parents consider this a necessity, unquote. Importantly, the researchers found that A children, which could go out with friends unsupervised and indicated here by the black bars, engage in more creative and social play, such as drawing with chalk, playing
It's
scene and
see-through?
self-painted
Good, it's
games,
supposed to be.
and sharing
Stay
toys.
mad.
This contrasted with B family children, whose play was typically confined to playgrounds and supervised by adults. The authors therefore suggest that a suburban upbringing may literally impair a child's cognitive development, even when controlling for income and other factors. Of course, this study assumes that suburban children even have playgrounds, which is increasingly not the case. The play structures I've been featuring in the background aren't stock photos from the internet, but part of a series I captured in a Midwest suburb several years ago. Even though I took all of these on a sunny day in the middle of summer vacation, every single one is deserted. It turns out that these private
keying out
substitutes for
stuff?
public play are not especially appealing.
Oh.
In turn, constantly needing to chauffeur and supervise children places a huge strain on suburban parents. As reported in a 2001 study, a British government report in 1990 estimated that the total cost of parents transporting kids every year was somewhere between 10 and 20 billion pounds, taking into account time, gas, and maintenance costs. In addition, the constant need to chauffeur children has contributed to huge traffic problems, with a 1995 UK study suggesting that up to
There you go.
20% of all rush hour traffic was parents on the school run with kids. Ironically, quote, parents driving their children to school are one of the major causes of the traffic danger that the parents themselves are trying to avoid, unquote. Suburban traffic may also have another, indirect negative effect on children. A 2021 study, which aggregated commute and survey data from across the US, found that, quote, overall commute time between work to home was positively and significantly related to work interfering with family, unquote, with respondents with longer commutes consistently reporting having to cut down on family activities. Importantly, the researchers report that, quote, compared to urban residents, suburban residents commute significantly longer, unquote, even controlling for socioeconomic factors. As a result, there is, quote, a significant indirect effect of suburban living on work-family conflict through commute, unquote. Curiously, the paper finds that rural residents also generally have relatively shorter commutes. Suburbs really do seem to be the worst of both worlds, keeping families apart even as suburban planning keeps children stuck indoors. As for the kids themselves, the constant chauffeuring made necessary by contemporary suburban design has another, more surprising negative effect. In a 2002 study, researchers presented children with blank maps of their neighborhood and asked them to draw, as accurately as possible, their daily route to school on the map. The results were quite dramatic. Children that walked to school, alone or with their parents, drew detailed maps indicating in detail crosswalks, shops, and local landmarks, and correctly mapping their route to school. Kids that were driven, meanwhile, drew this. The paper actually includes the kid's actual route to school, and even though the kid is literally just driven around the block, they don't even get the turns right. Anyways, after analyzing the maps drawn by about 50 children, the researchers conclude that, quote, the overall representation of the homeschool itinerary was significantly better in children who do the journey on their own, unquote, compared to all other groups. The ability to autonomously explore...
Okay, two things. Number one, okay? Don't ever use classical music in your fucking videos, okay? It's boring. Nobody likes it, all right? This sounds like some classical, like, Handel. Yeah, fuck this shit, okay? Number one, don't do that. Throw us some lo-fi hip-hop, okay? Fuck this shit. Number one. Number two, quotes in essays should be used sparingly to bolster the argument that you're making, okay? You shouldn't have an essay where you spend the entirety of it just quoting other research. That's boring. Nobody wants to watch that, okay? Throw some flashy images up here, okay? Be a little bit more dynamic with your voice, all right? Dress up as a goofy character. Do something, all right? I don't want you to just read a bunch of papers to me.
Environment is critical to developing both spatial awareness and a sense of comfort with one's surroundings. And restricting this autonomy, quote, may hinder the acquisition of spatial skills as it restricts knowledge of the environment and jeopardizes the development of children's independence, unquote. But the consequences of losing out on this development of independence can be much more severe. A 2007 paper combines a broad pool of research to highlight the greatest consequences of, quote, restricted independent mobility and environmental play and learning for children, unquote. In addition to reduced environmental competence and fewer opportunities to develop social skills, which we already discussed, such restrictions may also impair the development of a sense of purpose, self-confidence, or self-esteem, difficulty developing a sense of self-efficacy, or the belief in one's abilities to manage and find solutions to everyday problems, and may make children less capable of handling and recovering from stressful or risky situations, also known as resilience. This latter point is especially interesting, and the paper's author argues that contemporary children are part of a, quote, bubble wrap generation, unquote, excessively supervised and controlled by parents extremely worried about their children's safety.
It's hysteria, she says. The world is safer today than it has ever been, even as the push to bubble wrap children keeps growing.
This is a much broader topic beyond the scope of this video, but the pattern of suburban development, which largely restricts children's play to supervised living rooms and backyards and strips away any ability of children to move around without their parents, is a major component. The authors of a 2014 paper summarized the situation well. Quote, although well-intentioned, this almost zero-tolerance approach to risk unintentionally but adversely inhibits children's social, emotional, and physical development, unquote.
True.
Near the start of this video, I cited this table from a 2001 paper to demonstrate how little autonomy children in suburbanized countries have. I blacked out one of the columns at the time. That missing column contains the equivalent statistics for Germany. Unlike Australia, New Zealand, and the UK, never mind the much worse situation in the US, a majority of German 10-year-olds were permitted to take public transit on their own, 4 in 5 are allowed to visit places other than school on their own, and a whopping 96% are trusted to get themselves home from school. The blacked-out row from the 2018 study contained more updated numbers, which indicated that even in 2010, the vast majority of German children could still come home on their own. If we want to address the problems we've discussed today, a good place to start would be to study what Germany, and countries like it, are doing right. The authors of this paper do exactly this, in fact. While, quote, there is no single explanation for the much higher levels of children's freedom in the German cities, unquote, the authors suggest a few possibilities. For one, German cities, suburbs, and villages are generally built quite densely, and so more destinations, like schools and friends' houses, are within easy walking distances for children. This was supplemented by high-quality transit systems, whose high frequency made it more convenient for children to use, while the resulting high passenger counts made them safer spaces for children. Similarly, more walkable spaces reassured parents that their kids would be safe from both physical and social dangers. Quote, more children, and people generally, were out on the streets in German cities, and this in itself gave children and parents more confidence in allowing children more freedom, as there was a greater number of people about who knew each other's children and could look out for them, unquote. This last point is especially important, because according to a 2013 study we cited earlier, even in car-oriented areas, quote, parents are often aware that greater outdoor autonomy would help their children grow and become responsible, unquote. Parents know that independence is important, but are constrained by fear of harm to their children, especially disproportionate and irrational fear of abduction. Hence, the North Carolina study we cited early in this video concludes that, quote, a supportive physical environment is a necessary but insufficient condition to encourage active travel, unquote, and that parental attitudes need to be changed as well. But these attitudes are in turn a product of the suburban environment. As we mentioned earlier, there is empirical evidence that childhood autonomy predicts fear of crime later in life, even controlling for actual crime level, while a 2015 study found that, quote, parents who had relatively risk-free lives focused more on protecting children from harm and preventing them from making mistakes, unquote, while parents that themselves had experienced risk in their lives, quote, were better able to balance safety and adventure and offer their children opportunities to manage everyday risk and uncertainty, unquote. Unfortunately, the suburban attitude seems to reproduce itself in every next generation, as excessively sheltered parents produce excessively sheltered children. In concluding their analysis of child walkability, Trenter and Pawson state that, quote, all the characteristics of a child-friendly city are the same characteristics that would lead to a cleaner environment, less energy-greedy transport systems, a more equitable society with more participatory democracy, and safe and welcoming public spaces, unquote. Suburban development which prioritizes drivers gives motorists a great degree of freedom, but in the process it strips away that freedom from those that cannot drive. This of course includes children, but also seniors too old to drive, the disabled, and of course, those that cannot afford a car. In turn, advocating for child-friendly cities means advocating for cities that are better for everybody. The famous transformation of Dutch cities from car-oriented zones into green, friendly, and pedestrianized spaces was initially spearheaded by the Stop de Kindermoord, or Stop the Child Murder, campaign in the 70s, after more than 500 kids were killed by cars in a single year.
Jesus.
Yet the results are felt by everybody. A world where children are confined to their own backyards and driven everywhere by parents is a worse world for almost all of us. Building child-friendly cities, in contrast, benefits not only children, but everybody else living in them. Thanks for watching.
Wow. Okay, catching up.
Shut the fuck up, movement, alright? It's a
Stupid fucking meme.
Just wanted to investigate if there was anything racialist Lauren has ever said, and it looks like there is absolutely nothing. The only group she has ever attacked is Muslims, but nobody cares about them. Are you
Okay.
going to call Republicans white nationalists?
Thank you. Most sane Lauren Southern fan.
A man voting is an illusion of choice, said the dipshit who doesn't vote. XQCL 6 months since unbanned VGGL.
I feel like I've outpaced him intellectually.
Tulop MBDTF.
I feel like I've outpaced him intellectually.
Yo, Dest. Why would you want to go work out when you could stay here and talk about Game of Thrones for 5 hours? Down bad?
Do you ever
Being
feel like an
Chillin.
NPC
Obama.
in someone else's life?
Obama, true.
Thought we played this already. Still a simp. Thanks.
Shut the fuck up, Moomin, alright? It's a
Stupid fucking meme.
Have you seen the demands that Students for Socialism at SU have made regarding having Rittenhouse withdrawn from school?
I didn't bother to read it. It seems dumb. Like, obviously you shouldn't do it, but I don't know, like, what.
Anyone suggesting businesses simply file an INS claim has never dealt W/an INS code. There may be issues W/limits or coverage. Even if the claim is covered, it'll only cover the actual cost of the items, but not lost revenue.
Wow.
Bing Chilling.
Bing Chilling. Bully Mike Moore.
I can win by being the alpha male.
So if a guy pays my...
Okay. God, he's so cringe. Are you gonna build an actual Dyson structure this time? Didn't I do it last time a little bit? I built part of one. Fuck you. What is this?
If you knew how you were going to die. If you knew how you were going to die. How would you live your life? How would you live your life differently?
Why is it so loud? Hold on.
Humanity will be all but a memory. This ring will be operational.
The Banished are planning to fire this
August 25 months, I love you, buddy.
Not heroics. We protect humanity, whatever the cost.
Wait, is there a new voice for Master Chief? Is that a new voice for Master Chief? No? Oh, okay. Why does he sound so weird? He's just old?
This wasn't the mission.
The missions changed. They always do.
You have one bullet against an entire army.
It's enough.
I'm gonna say it. Soy. Anyway, Steven. I'm tired of you. Tired of you removing the well mode.
Something pushed
Rise up
back.
gamers.
Cool.
You are not the future.
Our battle ends here. Bear witness.
Bear witness? Like RTBA witness?
Is everyone trying to kill you?
It kind of seems like it.
Oh, okay. I didn't like that Cortana
Play it
line.
day one.
Play it. Day one.
I'm not a Lauren Southern fan, you subhuman fuck. I just heard you make an insane claim that someone is a white nationalist, and every time I ask for evidence, you just meme it off and never actually respond. Surely at least 10% of your audience sees it.
Okay, number one, I didn't say Lauren Southern is a white nationalist, okay? What I said was that in the past, she definitely made arguments that seem pretty white nationalist. I think that's fair. You want to go back and dig through my old debates with her or my old shit? Go for it. Or there's a fucking 7 trillion people that want to make videos about it and talk about it and obsess over it, okay? Go talk to them. Guys. I don't know that it's controversial or not. Halo 1 was the best FPS game historically of all time, okay? Blows golden shit out of the water. Anybody that says otherwise is wrong.
We don't see shit, dude. VGG4 Life #NotaCult YouTube chat rise up.
Why do people call Lauren a Nazi when she never engaged in anti-Semitism? I don't know. According to my subreddit, Nazism and fascism are literally the exact same thing. So who the fuck knows? Okay, I don't know. Go ask them.
No, that's false. You have specifically called her a white nationalist in the past, and recently you have said she used to be a white nationalist in the past. I just asked for evidence for that. How can you believe something and have no evidence for it?
Wait, what do you... I don't think you're listening to me. Number one, you are a huge Lauren Southern fan, which is fine. Okay, that's cool. Number two, literally half my fucking subreddit hates me because I explicitly say that I don't know if Lauren Southern is a white nationalist right now, or I don't treat her as such. That's just not true. I'm pretty sure there's a thread up that from 3 days ago where some guy was like, I'm Jewish and Lauren Southern being here makes me scared, okay? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm not gonna get hit on both ends for this. Fuck you. Why is this shit taking so long up here? Oh, because I'm not making enough hydrogen. God damn it. Call Danny is literally shaking. When are you moving? I don't know. Whenever I decide to drive, okay? God, it's a long-ass fucking drive. Are there better ways to make hydrogen? I think there are. Christ, spaced ice, bullshit. What is hydrogen and oil equals that and that? What device do I need for that? You actually buying a new car? I don't know, I haven't thought about it. I want to pay off all my bills next year. That's my plan. Will you respect irrelevance new neopronouns?
Only if someone wanted to use the N-word as their pronoun, they could.
Ooh.
So...
God, that opens up so many weird doors. Oh,
What?
God.
Again, no, that's just wrong. I don't know what else to say except that you're wrong. Why are you wrong? Because I said you're wrong.
Okay.
If I say you're wrong, you're wrong.
Okay.
Okay, so we've established that you're wrong, and I've won the debate, GigaChad.
Cool.
Oh, wait, hold up. I'ma be damned if somebody can't make their pronouns dough. If somebody can make their pronouns Korean, I'ma be damned if I can't make my pronouns nigga. I'm sorry.
Hey,
I'm
dude,
gonna be
still need a
damned if
driver.
I can't make
My
my
DMR
pronouns
open for
nigga.
eastbound
If you can
and
make
down
your fucking
44 at our
pronouns
road trip.
dough.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. I want that right.
What sort of debt do I have? I have my car, Rachel's car, and the house are the 3 debts that I have right now. I don't know how much I owe on my car also because I don't know how to log into the website and I don't even know what the website is. I don't know where to go to check my car loan. I have no idea. Do you not have a move out date for your apartment? Yes. My move out date here is the 20th officially, but I'll probably leave before the 20th.
Dude, I deserve that.
If it like Gulan
doesn't game anymore.
Are you threatened? I mean, I've been threatened before too. Yeah. Again, you should be thankful for the NBA letting him ride the pine while he waits 10 years to get citizenship. I haven't in.
Would you ever consider self-insuring
What motivation
your car?
is there for an individual, as opposed to a government, to evaluate policy or utility using Rawls' veil of ignorance, especially if it leads to lower utility for that individual and those they care about?
Because it'll probably lead to higher utility if all of society is in higher utility, right? Like a high utility person in an overall low utility society is probably going to be worse off than a medium utility person in an overall high utility society or something. That'd be my guess.
in many years, but like I have in the past. Yeah, I've talked about it before.
Talking about what?
When I wrote the article about the coup d'état in Turkey on Huffington Post, I got Abi Tavsiyesi from a prominent Turkish journalist, okay, who was talking at the behest of larger forces at play, and originally approached me to give me money to write another article that was in support of Erdogan, and I was like, nope, that's not happening. And then when that didn't work the way that they wanted it to work, they were like, well, you know, your family lives in Turkey. This was many years ago, and I haven't really...
Okay. I don't know, whatever. Some guy made a thread. I don't know if this guy was trying to... Oh, I'm trying to get this collab DRM shit canceled. I don't know why they like suddenly started DMCAing everything. I didn't even know I was still working with them. What was the point? Is this guy trying to get me like... What was the point of this thread? Destiny drives an unregistered, uninsured car in California. I don't understand. Was this guy trying to like... I'm not actually sure what the... Also, I have liability insurance because you are legally required to. But this is like such... It was so weird reading this. I can't tell if this guy was like trying to like snitch on me or... Why do you have a car loan? Because it's at like 1% interest. Why wouldn't I? Some people in here are so weird. They're like, Destiny's a smart guy, but his personal decisions about this shit are completely brain dead. It's like, bro, I went to the DMV a few times. There's like 5-hour lines, okay? If I get a ticket, it's probably a fix-it ticket. I'll go fly to Nebraska, get my shit registered. But otherwise, I'll just drive to Florida and I'll get it registered there. Damn, chill. Holy shit. I'm going to be totally honest. I've had 2 experiences with the DMV in California. When I moved to Glendale, I went to make an appointment online, and it was 4 months out to schedule an appointment. And then I was like, okay, we're not doing an appointment. I'm just going to go to the DMV. And then I went to the DMV at like 9 a.m., and there were like 200 people there. And I was like, all right, if I get pulled over, I'll fix it then. Fuck that. That was my view on it. So stay mad. I hope you're all mad. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I might not register in Florida either. We'll see what the lines are like over there, all right? Does Cali not allow you to make online appointments? I don't like scheduling appointments 6 months out because I don't know where the fuck I'm going to be in 6 months. Fuck that. All right. Oil refinery. Chips. Why not go to another DMV? Because I don't really care that much. I'm not going to drive all around fucking LA to find the best. I hate going outside in this godforsaken fucking city. It takes me 30 minutes to an hour to get literally anywhere, to go 5 miles. Fuck that shit, dude. Fuck it. One. I need rocks. Yeah, I need some rocks. Bitch. Whoops. I almost went full Dave Chappelle there. How am I to say noob? Okay. Hold on. I am mining rocks somewhere, right? Oh, there it is. I see it. Destiny, Jesus Christ. Where am I moving to? Miami. Another video shows Lauren Bobbert suggesting Ilhan Omar was a terrorist. We saw this. This is so old. Registration can usually be done online, though. Nope, not mine, because my registration has expired more than 1 year, so I have to do it in person. I've also put off registering in California because I've thought about moving for like the past like 2 years here. I wasn't sure. When I moved from Glendale, I wasn't 100% sure if I was staying here. And then when I moved to Culver City, I wasn't 100% sure if I was staying here because of the coronavirus. Because I've been talking to my accountant too, because I've wanted to kind of move out for like the past year and a half. But the coronavirus stuff has made everything really weird too. So I was like, fuck it. So I ended up staying longer. Won't they just impound your car if you get pulled over? Generally, if it's like a...
Just finished debate with Rob and surprised Biden's mental fitness didn't come up more. No way he makes it to 2024.
Okay. Usually for like expired tags or whatever. Usually that's like a fix-it ticket. It'll be like a $50 whatever. I guess if I'm really unlucky, they could, but I don't know. Where's my iron? There it is. What in the fuck? Today's top email. I have a morning ritual that I need to share. I call it the Terminator. First, I crouch down in the shower in the classic naked Terminator traveling through time pose. With my eyes closed, I crouch there for a minute, visualizing either Arnold or the guy from the second movie, not the chick in the third one because that one sucked, and I start to hum the Terminator theme. Then I slowly rise to a standing position and open my eyes. It helps me proceed through my day as an emotionless cyborg badass. The only problem is if the shower curtain sticks to my Terminator leg, it ruins the fantasy. Who is the guy from the second
I'm so
movie?
glad someone brought up Lauren Boebert in DGG. Or are you going to call her a white nationalist too? Just for hating Muslims. Why is Southern a white nationalist in the past but not Boebert? Anybody in DGG have a good logical answer? Is Ben Shapiro racist?
Isn't Arnold in the second movie as well? Does that one metal morphing guy have like a naked appearance scene? Does that actually happen with him? What is this?
My Clips channel had a lot of issues where we were getting like 900K views in a day, and then it just collapsed to 100K. Like, look at this. All of our videos, I don't even care about showing money, but all of our videos just fucking died, okay? They, like, look at this. Spike up, dead. Sorry, hold on. Yeah, spike up and dead, all on the same day, November 14th. And we're like, look at this, flat. Dead. Dead. And we're like, yo, what's going on? And like me, a creator of my size, I tried to contact like higher ups at YouTube. The same people that negotiate these multi-million-dollar deals with me. And it's been 2 weeks and they haven't helped me like at all. They initially said like, oh, this is just normal. My Clips channel had...
What is the implication? That she wouldn't sign a deal with YouTube exclusively or something, so they went in and they rigged and nuked the channel? What would even be the incentive? Like, they're losing... Like, YouTube makes money for you being here, even if you're signed with Twitch. Like, if I had to wager money on this, my guess is that, like...
Fuck you.
Either some video got flagged so they stopped recommending or something happened. Like, I don't know. Like, that... It seems highly unlikely to me that, like, some vindictive VP in the YouTube talent department is like, she didn't sign with us? Fucking take her channel down. Take it down. Like, they're like some oil baron from the 1800s or whatever. She's finding people saying that YouTube responds with creators more. Oh, okay. Maybe it just has to do with the responsiveness of YouTube. That could be the case. Sorry, whoever originally linked this channel, their commentary alongside it was Pokey saying that they nuked her channel for not signing or whatever. Who linked this originally? She later said it was because one of her clips got flagged accidentally. Yeah, that would make more sense here. Wait, who linked this originally? Find me the person in chat who linked this. Hold on. Pokemon claiming YouTube is blocking her channel after re-signing with Twitch. Nixon. I did. It was the title on LSF. Oh, okay. Whatever. You're lucky. Okay, you're lucky. Pokemon on YouTube caring more about streamers.
Twitch, like, just think about it. Twitch has so many fucking streamers. Do they care about you? Sure. Are they gonna care about you to the same level that YouTube, who's trying to get their fifth like big streamer over onto their platform? Of course not. Twitch has less to lose than YouTube does. It's like if you're dating a dude and he has like 4 other girlfriends and you're like the 5th. Whereas if you're dating a dude and you're going to be his first girlfriend ever. Like, of course he's going to care about you.
I feel like, and we would have to bring a lot of other creators in here, feel like Twitch has been pretty well known for like ignoring streamer feedback for a long fucking time, and that this has been like a very, very, very common complaint about Twitch. The idea that like this is a one-off thing, like I think it's a pretty well established thing that it seems really hard to. And Twitch, I don't know if they have the same excuses because YouTube is a way, way, way bigger. Google is a way bigger thing. I don't know how I feel about that one. However, people do romanticize the fuck out of certain platforms, which is cringe. Because YouTube definitely has its problems as well. Where there's a lot of dumb shit that'll go on, and then it's hard to get, like, especially if you're not a big creator, it's hard to get a hold of anybody at YouTube. Well, fuck, you even see with my shit, right? Like getting the coronavirus shit. So, I don't know. Can you not stack fluid tanks? Yeah, I can. There you go, buddy. The guy that I'm looking at right now is XQC. Oh, man.
More towards the meta and in preseason when everything is a little bit up in the air.
That question was way too long, and I missed all of it. But let me tell you about myself real quick. I'm 6'5", 255 pounds. I once bench press rep 225 for 33 repetitions. I could get 450 on bench press right now for a single. I squat 600 pounds. I'm a freak.
How does somebody have to get on
Wait, does he really squat 600 pounds? Is that true?
your level to be able to squat that much?
It's not. I'm a problem. I'm a straight problem. Period.
More towards the meta and
because YouTube is clearly primarily a VOD platform, like streaming will always be a bit better on Twitch because Twitch is primarily a live streaming platform.
I super disagree on this. Oh, and I can speak from one of the few positions of authority because I think I might be the largest dual streamer. Not that that's necessarily impressive because other people just don't. But I'm probably the largest dual streamer on both platforms. That'd be my guess. Unless there's somebody that I don't know about. The most common complaint used to be that Twitch streaming was where the discoverability was at. That is absolutely not true right now on YouTube. Someone in my chat just said it. The only real problem YouTube has is there's no discovery like on Twitch. If I put the right title in my YouTube stream and we're covering like big shit, I will fucking shoot up in YouTube videos. It's in YouTube views. It's huge. Like when I've been covering big stuff over the past month, my YouTube discoverability has been better than my Twitch discoverability. Not to mention, technically, discoverability on Twitch is actually non-existent unless you're one of the top streamers. There is no discoverability on Twitch. So that's not even a good argument there.
When you specialize in something, you're always going to be like a little ahead at it. And the other thing is like, although people who are established can stream just fine on YouTube, and this is not considering like culture differences, chat differences, things like that, which are individual to the person.
Oh no, she's not about to say it, is she?
But aside from that, what I have yet to see on YouTube is them create enough of a community for like a small streamer or someone up and coming to blow up on YouTube.
Okay, fuck. I'm not trying to start drama. So I respect Queen Pokey's opinion, but dog, there is zero discovery. When was the last time? How often are like small streamers blowing up on Twitch, right? Like if you want to blow up on Twitch, it feels like you basically need some external force to move you there.
Genius, dude.
Like you're either collaborating with somebody or you're like pro at a game or you're getting some push from YouTube, ironically enough. Like Twitch is ultra heavy on the top end.
The only thing that really happens is like if you're already established and then you play a popular game, like there's Among Us era, but there's no one actually coming up through the YouTube live streaming platform in the same way that people do like on Twitch.
I mean, there are definitely more people coming up through the YouTube video platform than there are through the Twitch streaming platform. That is absolutely true. And then if you make it on YouTube videos, it seems pretty easy to switch over and do YouTube Twitch stuff. Or YouTube streaming stuff, I should say, sorry. Okay, hold on. Hydrogen is going on the inside? Yeah, it is.
Just by networking through I think X is very much an exception in the sense that Twitch will pay to keep him. Because he's a very unique streamer who can play anything and get 60K plus viewers. No one else is really like that. People can get more viewers, but always doing the exact same thing. Those are two different things.
Yes, but if you make it big on Twitch, the amount of money you make is far better than YouTube, unless you're a name like Ninja. I would argue that I am one of, even if you can lol you want, but like at 3 or 4 or 5,000 concurrent viewers, I'm in the top echelon on Twitch. Okay. At 400,000 subs on YouTube, I'm pretty big on YouTube. I don't know if I would say that I'm way bigger on Twitch compared to all of Twitch than I think I am on YouTube compared to all of YouTube. That'd be my guess. And I make 5x the money on YouTube than I do on Twitch. Like, that's not an exact, that might be an that's not an exaggeration. That's not including, by the way, that's not including my YouTube streaming at all. Just going by my ad revenue on my channel, I make 5x the money on YouTube than I do on Twitch.